I'm currently in the kitchen, y'all, putting away groceries. I should have been to this, but me and my daughter went upstairs and we cleaned up our rooms. Well, I cleaned up my room. Her room, yeah, I don't know. But I don't know what's on my clothes, y'all. I'm about to put this pizza in the oven for dinner. I love Fragetta pizza. Don't ask me why, but they have really good pizza. That was my daughter that did have pizza. But one thing I've learned about emotion since I've been healing is something that I've actually just recently learned is that it's okay to feel an emotion. It's okay to have a memory about somebody. It's okay to feel something that happened to you in your past, and it might hit you in the pit of your stomach and it might just flash in your mind. But what I've learned is that it's normal, but it's not okay to sit in those emotions all day. You can have a moment, but don't sit in the moment. Just say, oh, well, I thought about that. Okay, had a memory. Okay, I'm feeling sad right now. Okay, but don't sit in it. That's one thing that I've learned and I had to put in my mind, because I would literally have an emotion and just sit in it all day instead of just moving on with my day. But I feel like in the process of healing, you can't just allow that emotion to take over your mind and continue to just sit and think and think and think over and over in your head. You have to let it, okay, this is an emotion. Okay, now I'm moving on with my day. Because I feel like if you don't do that, you will always be stuck in that cycle of constantly letting people have power over you, constantly just overthinking. And it will get to a point where you will never be able to fully heal because you're not allowing yourself to move on from situations. Now, I will say a lot of times when you're healing, some people say you do have to feel the emotions, which you do. It's normal to feel the emotions and be sad or whatever emotion you're having. That is so normal. Don't let me tell you can't feel, because it's so normal to feel. But you just don't want to stay in that feeling for too long. Because what happens is a lot of us stay in that moment for too long, and then it hinders the healing process. And healing is also about letting go. You have to learn to let go of certain things, situations, and people, because if you don't, again, you will not heal, because you're still tying yourself to a person that's no longer there. That's your past now. You're still tying yourself to an event or to something that happened in your childhood that you haven't let go of, and you have to let that go in order to heal. And these are things I'm learning as I go, you guys. But I've learned that not to point the finger at everybody. I'm like, you did this to me, you did this to me, you did this to me. I'm mad at you, because at the end of the day, I also have to look at myself. I have to look at me too, because I'm a part of that process. And, you know, a lot of times we don't realize we're healing from stuff that other people did to us, but we're also healing from things that we did to ourselves. Because it's like, well, Sherelle, you could have avoided that had you, listen to those red flags. Well, Sherelle, you could avoid this had you not been in that situation. Well, Sherelle, you could avoid this had you did something differently or whatever, So a lot of times we do break our own hearts, unfortunately, in certain situations, because we see the signs, but we ignore them for whatever reason. That could be something deeper going on within us. And so, and it could be that person too, but we also have to look at ourselves and just know what works for us and what doesn't. And let me go check this water. I gotta go, y'all.